Hello, my name is Shaun Guzman. I'm an actor, screenwriter, director. I've just been interviewed by the most wonderful and awesome person and inspiration person, KeithAndrewNetwork. I am looking forward to more in the future.
Welcome to the KeithAndrewNetwork, and it's episode 36. That is right, episode 36 of the KeithAndrewNetwork, available on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook. If you're watching, you're obligated to like, share, comment. Our goal is to reach 500 to 1,000 views. You're not just leaving a comment for me, leaving a comment for a guest, and suggestions of what we should talk about on the KeithAndrewNetwork. As people know, you already introduced yourself on the recommendation. First thing I want to talk to you about is the coronavirus. As you mentioned, you are an actor and a director and a screenwriter. So the first one I want to ask you is, how has the coronavirus impacted your life, and do you see things at a different point of view?
Well, about the COVID-19, well, this is for me, from my eyes. This is what happened was that when it came out, I was like, okay, whatever. And then I had to do what I needed to do to support myself and to support my family with my mom and dad. So I had to put the I had to put the ridiculous face mask on and then go to work. And then the next day, I was like, I don't know what happened. To be honest with you, it was just a normal, typical day. I got up, took a shower, got dressed, had my breakfast, and the next thing you know, I'm like, oh, do I have to wear this face mask again? Which I should have never left the house, but I did. I got onto my bike and I went all the way down to downtown LA. As soon as right before I was heading to downtown LA, for some reason, I stopped because my face mask was coming off, and it came off, and I stopped for some reason. I don't know what happened. I didn't breathe. I'm like, okay, that didn't feel right with me. So I put the face mask back on. I came back. I turned around. I came back home. And as soon as I came back home, all of a sudden, I laid my body next to a dresser, and I put my head down and just like to breathe or something, whatever. And that's it. I don't know what happened afterwards.
No, it sounds like a scary experience. So it sounds like you blacked out.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but that's not what everybody saw it in my point of view. Everybody saw a different point of view. And then after that, I don't know what happened. Um, and then soon afterwards, my brother told me that I was doing I was doing some stuff was really weird and was like off base with me. And next thing you know it, I wasn't myself anymore.
I
And
blacked
then
out. I blacked out 2 times in my life. It's not a fun experience. Dude, the second time was actually really scary because I was still awake and everything around me, like you're staring in a light bulb, and you can
mhm.
see everything getting then blackness, but you're still awake. Scared the shit out of me. I thought I was blind.
Oh
It
wow.
was really scary. That was the worst experience of my life.
So yeah, and afterwards, I don't know. As days go by, as the days going by, my brother said I was doing some weird stuff. I don't know. I don't remember. I was doing some weird stuff, and the next thing you know, I just freaked out and just didn't recognize nobody. I was like, what the? I was like, what the fuck? And then soon later, my brother took me to the hospital, everything, and they checked everything, and nothing was wrong. And then my other family came to visit California because of the whole COVID crisis. And then they saw me, and they're very super concerned about me. So the next thing you know, and my family took me out of California and brought me back over here in Nebraska, Omaha, Nebraska, to give me help and to get my life back on track.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I didn't mean to start laughing before you told me all this, but you mentioned breakfast. That's the reason I started to laugh. But I was going to say something, but I didn't want to interrupt, and I do apologize.
No,
But
that's fine.
going back to the very beginning when you mentioned breakfast, what did you have for breakfast?
What did I have? Who I don't remember.
I
I
just
don't.
wanted to make you laugh. That's
I really don't. I don't remember. It was breakfast. That's all I had.
So the next question I want to ask you is about your passion about being a director. Was there a movie or film that influenced you to become an actor and director?
So check this out. Very interesting. When I was a kid, I think around what I would say, 8 or 9, maybe 7. For some reason, movies. I'm not gonna say the. I'm gonna mention the movie that really that made me say, you know what, I want to do that. But movies, generally movies and TV shows, if you name it, I was so drawn to them. The stories, the creativitiness, the whole atmosphere of it, the whole experience, the whole brava of it. I was so thrown. I'm like, man, that's pretty cool. I wish I could do something like that. And then next thing you know it, my mom and dad would take me to a swap meet in Alameda, and there was a store. He would sell VHS tapes, and I was looking at them on the section. I saw a movie that caught my eye. You know what movie that was?
What was that?
Desperado.
I heard of it. I never seen it.
Oh my goodness! Talk about filmmaking right there, dude. Talk about being inspirational. Talking about how to really make a fucking movie on independent style. It was blown away, and it's funny. I kept seeing that movie, the same movie, over and over and over and over and over again. I never go tired of it, and I still don't, because that movie, besides Toy Story, Desperado was the one that was like, you know what? If I could make a career like that, I think I'd be happy.
You know, for me, the
Now,
one.
for
Oh, go ahead. I'm
now,
sorry.
oh no, sorry. So from Desperado, I went on to Toy Story. So Desperado and Toy Story are the main influences of what I want to do for the rest of my life.
You know, for me, I would say, well, I gave up. I mean, yeah, to be honest, I gave up on this idea. The one movie that influenced me, and actually the following's brought to you by Blockbuster. I do want to talk to you about Blockbuster in a couple of seconds. But the one movie that
Uh,
influenced me was Almost Famous. I wanted to go on a
oh,
road.
really?
I wanted to be a roadie and go on the road, and like, well, it's not realistic because you're not a leech or a freeloader. You have to pay for yourself. You don't expect people to pay for your hotel rooms. And this is before I got sick. A long story about that. And I'm like, oh yeah, I want to do it. But then I got sick. I'm like, you know what? I don't want to be a low life. Say, hey, I have a disability. Can I go on road with you? I want to say I want to offer people things. So I'm using my disability, saying I call it the boom. I haven't said this in a long time. I call it the boomerang. And when I was in high
Mm-hmm.
school, I fall under the spectrum of being retarded. I read and learn at a slow level. And then the boomerang comes back and it hits me upside the head. You just labeled yourself as an influence. Now you told everyone you have a disability and you expect people to do things for you. So I said, okay, well, instead of using it as a crutch, I'm going to turn it into a strength. So for thanks to you, and tomorrow will be officially 11 years. For 11 years, I did 136 episodes, showing you and everyone someone who reads and learns at a fifth grade high school level, who falls under the spectrum of being retarded, and who doesn't have a BA or BS. My family likes to say I have a BA, BS, a BA and BS because I like talking. Um, but look at what I have accomplished for 11 years, 1,136 episodes. But that's a will of a.
Congratulations.
No, I appreciate that. Now, the next one I want to ask you is about Blockbuster. Have you ever gone there? And what was some of your favorite films and video games that you always rented?
So check this out. I used to love going to video stores. It was the thing of a beauty, man. I don't know why in the fuck, excuse my language,
Freedom of
they
speech.
closed down video stores. I don't know why. It was just a beauty. You walk in, you see a section of so many movies, right? You can only pick three. And it's just the beauty of walking into it, man. It was a beautiful thing, man. I went to well first I went to original video stores, then I went to Hollywood videos, then I went to Blockbuster. My dad didn't like Blockbuster because you had to rewind the tape back and stuff
Right.
like that, and there was a fee on that. So yeah, he didn't like Blockbuster, but I did enjoy Blockbuster. It was pretty cool. But my dad liked it Hollywood video.
The games I remember from Blockbuster, and to be honest, all the times I rented the video games, I should have just freaking bought them. But that's a different story. I rented one of my favorites for Sega, X-Men. You're not saying
Awesome.
not Clone Wars, but the first X-Men game. One, it's one of the greatest. It's most wonderful. It's the best game ever. I know a horrible impression of Trump, but that's my thing. WWF Warzone. I used to
You
play
like
that.
wrestling?
Yes, diehard
Oh
wrestling
my
fan.
goodness, now we're homies. Now we're homies. I love fucking wrestling. I grew up with wrestling. My dad grew up with wrestling. We all grew up with it because of my dad.
Who's your favorite wrestler?
Undertaker and Hulk Hogan.
Oh, the character Hulk Hogan, one of my favorites to person. Never met him, but I heard a lot of shit about him. But Undertaker, one of the greatest.
Yes, the one has done it all, and as a survivor of Vince McMahon's company, the longest survivor, the
Well,
longest the longest survivor character in WWE history.
let me throw an idea at you. Would you be interested in sorry, would you be interested in doing a wrestling show?
Yeah, I would love to do that.
We can definitely talk about that off the air. And actually, that's a good segue. Tonight, only available on Peacock and Fox 5, it's Friday Night SmackDown. Make sure to like and subscribe and watch Friday Night SmackDown. With that,
Yeah,
also,
about that. I don't watch wrestling today now. I don't because it's not what it used to be anymore, man, in my opinion.
well, I
It
was
ain't
still
what it,
women. Oh, go ahead.
but yeah, it ain't what it used to be the wrestling today. Without Undertaker, without any old school legends, it's just I don't know what happened. Too much changes and too much drastic changes. Too many characters, or I don't know. Something happened. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I just like old school wrestling.
Hey, at least the women got better looking over the years. Thank God for that. It was kind of creepy back in the day. Well, let me ask you this, and not to say that I'm, whatever. Women's wrestling. We compare the World Wrestling Federation. You had three belts: the WWF, the Intercontinental, and Tag. And what made WCW better is you had the heavyweight, the tag, the cruiserweight, the United States, the television. But what Vince McMahon, and I'm saying he did a lot of good, but I'm not saying he's a great person, but he did a lot of good. He's not innocent for this. Vince McMahon, Paul Heyman, and Eric Bischoff, they're all guilty of not focusing on the women because there's no reason why the women's revolution could have started a lot sooner. You had the women's title. Why not have the women's tag titles? Now, today, you have the
That's
women's North
interesting.
American belt. WCW and ECW. Okay, ECW never had a women's division. WCW started, but they dropped the ball. Compared
I did not
to
know about that.
compared to when we were kids, because I'm 36, I think we're about the same age range.
Yeah, we're 36.
Do you think the women's division and the women's wrestling got a lot better because now they are in the main event, they have more belts, and they have airtime compared to back in the day where
I
they
think I think sorry about that. I think I know why I have a problem with wrestling today because they're not original. These
okay,
characters are not original. Let's just say, for instance, like Rhea Ripley, she wants to be the next China. You cannot be the next China. Nobody is the next China. China was a different breed, was a different era, was a different human being. She stood up. She wanted to wrestle. She wanted to be a professional wrestler. She did not want to be an eye candy for everybody. Even though
right.
she's very was very beautiful, but she didn't want to be eye candy. She wanted to be a fucking wrestler compared to these divas today. That's what I see. I see Becky Lynch. I'm like, eh. I see Rhea Ripley. I'm like, eh. I see Bailey. I'm like, okay, whatever. I guess because they don't care. I feel they don't care about personality and character wise. What they care about is just being out there. Bailey trying to be impersonating Macho Man Randy Savage with a jacket with her
Oh, she doesn't do that anymore.
no, she does it now. I noticed that. She went back on it. Bailey went back on it. I'm like, come on, you're not Macho Man. Don't give me that. Don't give me that. Don't give me Fasteletto on that. You can never be the level of Macho Man. No way now. So yeah, that
Well, do you agree or dis? Well, let me tell you my opinion. I think there's no reason why we can't have.
no, I'm for it. Sorry, I'm for it with WWE. Hopefully, under Triple H's
Right.
era, that we get a women's tag team. I'm hoping to get it, but they kind of there had to be a there had to like how can I say this in a way? They had to be like Edge and Christian, like the Hardy Boys, like the Dudleys, like the Brood. There had to be something like that.
No, I agree with you. And the biggest thing is I liked NXT when it first. Okay, not when it was a reality show, but when it first started, it didn't compete with Raw. It didn't compete with SmackDown. They built stars up like Asuka, who was undefeated. Samoa Joe, even though he was from Impact Wrestling and TNA, you had great names like Adam Cole. And these people, like, I can't wait to see these people on SmackDown and Raw. And once they get on the show, they just shit on, and not sound like I'm a wrestling mark, they shit on them. So it's the writers and it's the storytelling.
There
But
you go.
but the one thing I wanted to tell you, there's no reason why we can't have, if she got out of her own way, Brooke Hogan could have been the next Hulk Hogan. Natasha, not Natasha,
Natalia,
Natty.
Natalia. There you go.
Thank you. She could have been the next Bret Hart. Rhea Ridley, yes, the next China. There's certain people I'm looking forward to. Why can't we have a female Triple H? Not saying come out with a beard or anything, that's kind of creepy. But why can't we have a female Triple H, female Shawn Michaels, Undertaker? Rhea would have been good, yeah, as a female Undertaker. Yeah, but I guess sexism plays a thing in it because that's why back in the day, supposedly the boys were jealous because they said the women put on better matches. That's why they got rid of the women's division back in the 90s.
Mm, wow. Because what from my perspective, not my perspective, my point of view, when WWF was in the highest peak of all time, with Stone Cold and The Rock being number one in the Attitude Era, there were there were Trish and Lita, Jacqueline and Ivory, Luna, and who else? the
Trish,
cat. Who else?
Trish Stratus.
Trish Stratus. Who else? China. Um,
Yeah,
who
back then
else?
they were just eye candies, though. No one took them serious. The difference is now the then is because they didn't have belts. They had one belt. They should have had more. But your point is exactly China women's champion. No reason why Lita and Trish could have been women's tag champions. But back in 20 years ago, Jesus, that long, 20 years ago, um, they say, oh, the women are out. Okay, bathroom break. Now they have their own spotlight. They're in the center of attention. Rhea's the women's world champion. Let's see, who is I, uh, I can't remember who's the SmackDown Women's Champion, but there's
I
the
think
tag.
Bailey. I think Bailey is the SmackDown Women's Champion. I'm not too sure, but I think Bailey is the Women's Champion. As from what I was, because I saw WrestleMania 40, and I know she won,
Right.
and I know Rhea Ripley won against Becky Lynch. But I think Bailey is still the Women's Champion. I'm not too sure. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened after WrestleMania.
Yeah, but the point is that it got better over the years and they got the opportunity. Now, my thing about ECW is well, two things. One, um, even Owen Hart did. I want to talk to you about Owen Hart. Owen Hart did compete in WCW, so it makes sense why, they paid respect.
That
But
is
oh,
one thing I did not know. I did not know that Owen Hart competed in WCW.
1992.
Nice. Damn.
And the Bulldog too, for that matter. Then they left and then they went back. But they paid respect. My problem with ECW is they did not pay respect. Even if yeah, he didn't work for us. That's not the point. He died in professional wrestling. Show some freaking, fucking respect and say in memory of Owen Hart. A 30-second thing. That's so hard to do. But
Yeah.
that's what in ECW, and don't I hate ECW, but I have some friends, good friends, who I interviewed from ECW. I interviewed Raven, just incredible. I interviewed
I like Raven.
he's a really nice guy. Did you know he served in the I think the Army or the Marines? I
Oh
can't
wow, I did
remember.
not know that. Yeah,
I
I
w-
like Raven.
I will send you the interview we did. I got Joe Gertner. I actually was talking to Kevin Nash, and I was like, there's a lot of people on my show I would like to have, but I don't pay people because by me paying you, it's like I'm bribing you. But you're not traveling, you're just sitting on a computer having a conversation. I wanted to have Eugene on my show. I liked, yeah, he's making fun of disabled people, but if you do it in a way that it's not offensive,
I
it,
I'm gonna be real with you. I did not like the segment or the feud between Eugene and Triple H.
no,
I
that was
hated it with
stupid.
a passion. I hated it with a passion. I did like the segment with him and The Rock, but him, Eugene with Triple H was just I don't know what to say.
I
I don't know
like
who it, I did not know who idea was that, but it was
Holy McMahon.
pathetic. I don't know.
I like the comment I like the relationship he had with William Wiggles. That was really funny. I like I liked how William Wiggles tells him, Eugene, stay right here, my boy. I'm gonna go talk to Eric, your Uncle Eric. And then Eric's like, where is he? He's in the hallway. You can't leave him alone. They argued, and it's like, you can't team me up with that window wicker. But like, if it's funny, it's all right. If you're doing it to be offensive, you know what I mean? There's certain things like people with disabilities or stand-up comedians. They make fun of other people with disabilities, not in a nasty way, but you need to put a gentle light spin on it. So you know what I mean?
Yeah, but Eugene was a cool wrestler. I only the only part the only thing I like about Eugene was was his segments with The Rock, and that's it. Other than that, he was cool. I just, I still, the Triple H with Eugene was just not right. I don't know what happened to
He's an asshole, but I like Triple H.
that.
So the next
Yeah,
one,
I'm not a. I was never into Triple H back in the days. I was never, because I was here. I would hear stories. The first story that I heard about Triple H when the internet was still was going on around WWF time. Afterwards, I was like, "Hey, really? He's that?" Because I heard somebody told me one day that someone met Triple H, and Triple H was like, I don't know, give him the finger or something else. So I don't know. I was one story that I heard. I'm like, oh wow, oh wow. I did not know he was I did not know he was a jackass in real life.
and what happened with him? And I mean, look, guys cheat on women, and it's. I'm not making any. I'm not saying it's right. You know, it's wrong. You want to break up a relationship, do it the right way. But he
So
cheated on China, and that caused China to go in a downward spiral. But there
I
was
heard
no.
stories about that, and I'm gonna be real with you. I blame Triple H. To be honest with you, I no, not that I don't like him. I blame him for not respecting China because he never did. There's a segment. There's a segment that I saw on WWF Raw's War. Triple H was on the microphone with his fucking jean shorts and his outfit, and he was saying this and this and this and this and this and this. So he wanted to be champion. He wanted to be champion. He wanted to be champion. Then he calls out China, right? He calls out China. China comes out and talks to Triple H, and he said he he took a shovel and buried her on that segment. I'm being for reals. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like,
I
this is
agree with
China.
you. And you never think.
I'm like, this is China. She will fuck you up in a minute.
I also lost respect for WWE, how they treated Ashley Mazzaro. So a wonderful person. I met her several times. But pretty much they went overseas for Iraq, and she was taken advantage of. And she told Stephanie, and she told Vince, and they say, "Just be quiet and to keep it under wraps, so we take care of it." They never did. And so when they fired her a couple months later, the truth came out. So look, I'm not defending Vince McMahon. He did a lot of great things. He gave us so much, like Walt Disney gave us so much. However, on the other hand, he's a shitty person, and he
Yeah,
screwed Owen.
I've
The
heard
next,
mixed feelings. I heard mixed feelings with Vince McMahon. Sometimes he can be cocky. Sometimes he can be a wonderful guy. Sometimes he can loan you a car key. Sometimes he can offer you something, or sometimes he can give you the finger.
that's true, and
Yeah,
I didn't agree. I appreciate what he did. Owen Hart. Owen Hart is a grand slam. Even though they reversed the decision, he still deserved that. But we can definitely
yeah.
do another wrestling.
Luckily for me, I did not saw because for when I was growing up, I was watching WrestleMania VHS tape. That's how my dad got me into it. VHS tape at the video store. I always see WrestleMania 6. I would see WrestleMania 5. I would see WrestleMania 4. I would see WrestleMania 8 on the VHS tapes. But soon afterwards, that I was growing up, I my other family they bought cable, and for some reason we were looking for wrestling, right? I thought wrestling was like what happened to WWE because everybody was so into WCW. It was the most beautiful thing ever created, and it still is. I wish WCW was still alive, was still active. But
Oh, not to interrupt, we're going overtime, but I give you the last 2 minutes.
okay. So are we done?
Oh no, I just want to say because it's counting us off, but the timer then went off. But we can definitely do a wrestling interview again down the road in a couple of weeks or something. But
Cool. I'm down for that. I love to talk about I love to talk about movies. I love to talk about wrestling. It's funny. My first dream wanted to become a wrestler. That was my first dream. I wanted to become a wrestler, but I didn't understood the business quite well. But I had a finisher that I created it, but I don't use it anymore. It's gone away. I used to have a funny, pointless wrestling character name. And then yeah. But yeah, we can talk about wrestling some other day.
Yeah, absolutely. Now wrapping up, it was a real honor and privilege. Stay tuned. I have a couple questions for you off the air. But wrapping up our interview segment, it was a real honor and privilege having you as a guest, and I'm looking forward to part 2 down the road. Until we meet again, I catch you later. Thank you, and have a good night.
Supporting me, my message is all that matters.